Right, welcome to this review for the new Fall of Cadia series of books that Games Workshop have produced. Gathering Storm is part 1. I've seen the trailer for part 2 coming out soon as well, but I'm going to review this one here and plan to review the others. Got big changes coming to Warhammer 40,000. I hope it's just moving the story along. It's quite cataclysmic changes within the story, but to a point where they're not going to turn it into Age of Sigmar and sort of obliterate the whole gaming system and then start afresh. Hopefully it will just be moving the story on, but keeping the core of the game still going. I hope that's the case, but we'll just have to wait and see. But whatever happens, there are big changes happening, especially in the storyline of Warhammer 40,000. So before we get into that, I'm going to run through the book here. There's some rules, some characters to look at as well. So I've got mine from gamingfigures.com. They do Games Workshop at a 15% discount. If your order comes to over £100, they give you another 5% off on top of that. And then if you're in the UK and your order comes to over £40, then you get free postage as well. And it just helps. It just means you can get your Games Workshop stuff at a discounted rate. So you can check them out. That's gamingfigures.com. So the Gathering Storm of there's part 1. Seen the trailer for part 2. Some new miniatures coming along with that. I think it's a great idea. Can't see any problem with this at all. Moving the storyline along, and then as they do that, instead of announcing that the story's changed, you can be part of the journey as it goes along. So I think it's a great idea. And then they're releasing some nice new miniatures of each part as the story goes along, so you can collect your favourite characters. You can get involved in the themed battles that's part of that whole story. So as long as they don't wreck the gaming system like they did really with Age of Sigmar. I know Age of Sigmar sort of recovered, but it's people are beginning to get into it more and more now, becoming more and more acceptable, and it's developing and moving along. It seems to be heading in a better direction, but I think it was a shock change that took place, and I thought it was a shame really the way that happened. But hopefully they don't do it with Warhammer 40,000. That changes to the gaming system itself will not be too major. I mean, if they release 8th edition, maybe 10% sort of things changed around. I think they'd be wise to do it. It means that the codexes and the books they already have, loads of them now, shouldn't need to be redone. With a massive change though, they would need to redo everything. So hope that they're wise. I mean, they have to keep moving along. Things have to change to be refreshed and redone, just for a company to keep itself going, but to do that in a sensible way. So Gathering Storm then. And the focus of this book is mostly storyline. Here, I'm reading it through. I think the new miniature releases are very, very nice indeed. There's Celestine there, the Sisters of Battle. Just going to run through this. Old and new artwork being used. This is a much older piece of artwork, this one, but very, very nice indeed. Really nice piece of artwork, that. And then new artwork as well being featured in the book. I mean, it was the artwork that got me into Warhammer 40,000. It wasn't the miniatures initially, it was more the artwork. And then I remember I used to get White Dwarf magazine, some of the paintings like this, I used to redraw them out, do my own copies, try and copy them exactly in pencil drawings and so on, and I used to just really get into it. And then a couple of friends at school had the miniatures and then just started playing games, and that's where it all started. So artwork, storyline is a massive part of Warhammer 40,000. Another older piece of artwork here. This Imperial Guard looks similar to other artwork, but this is a new one featuring the new Skitarii character there. They are Skitarii fighting orcs. It's one of the early parts of this story in this book. And the Necrons get involved. So, which again I think is good. You've got multiple factions getting involved. They're weaving them into the storyline as well. Just means more and more people can get involved, so Necron players can then start to use their armies. And then on the planet, on Cadia, there's various Space Marine chapters and Imperial forces as well. Imperial Fists. You don't, if you watch the Apocalypse game, haven't got along too well with Chaos. They've been wiped out in our previous battle. I've yet to read all of this. Been reading a fair chunk of it, but I haven't read the whole thing yet. But it's sort of a story you want to pay close attention to, pick up hints and details of what may come. That's the kind of Chaos army, the theme that you'd want. This dark and sinister. There's no speed here, it's just this slow, steady, grinding destruction. Nothing can stand in its way. They're destroying all in their path. That's a good theme for Chaos Black Legion here, which I think is a difficult colour scheme to master. Then Defence and Depth here from the Imperial Guard. Inspirational, that one. Nice. Hope to get my Imperial Knight painted up. In a colour scheme like this here, so it goes nicely with the Scutari, maybe like this one here. This one here. These are all nice colour schemes. Hope to do a painted tutorial for that. That's Imperial Guard. So Belisarius Cawl is the character there. Very nice miniature. So more and more storyline. Very atmospheric, that one. Beautiful piece of artwork there. So as I said, tons of this book is storyline. It's just like buying a novel but fully illustrated. Another beautiful piece of artwork. I've kept that standard going since the start Games Workshop, so it's very good. And then Inquisitor Greyfax as well. Very nice. It means I can imagine they're going to redo the Abaddon miniature. They must. If there's only been any point where they should do it, will be now. We'll have to wait and see. I don't see what I mean about the storyline. Loads and loads of creeds involved. Kel's been killed apparently. Or Black Legion. And in this one, a mystery has been pointed out. It's all been revealed now. This character here, the miniature's now been seen for him, so the mystery's solved there. But it was at the time before the pictures were leaked. Was quite a mystery, that one. Who was he? But it's sort of a mix. If I'm right here, it's sort of a mix between Eldar, Dark Eldar, and there's some characters coming out for that, and who knows what else will follow. We'll have to see. But intriguing storyline. This picture is superbly taken. The photography here for a miniature setup with the colours going on is exceptionally good. Really, really good. So Eldar getting involved and supporting. So you've got like whatever faction, virtually. I mean, except things like Tyranids, most of the factions now are part of this big story. So, which is good. Which is good. So there's a new miniature, Saint Celestine, and they've done some Gemini Superior at these two here, which I think is really nice. Very nice touch to add that in. So really good. Inquisitor Greyfax. Excellent sculpting on that one. Very, very nice miniature indeed. And this one here is a real work of art as well. Belisarius Cawl. Really, really nice. We'll check out the rules for those as we come to them. But I think it's a great idea they're doing a book. Characters, special characters are released with it, and you get the rules and so on. Defenders of Cadia, as you can see, loads of different chapters involved here. Even Space Wolves are there. Stormlords is a nice colour scheme. Do like that one. I've always been on the lookout for a different Space Marine chapter to paint. Stormlords is nice. I've always liked the Howling Griffins as well. There's more here. Just looking through these different ones. Destroyers. It's different, interesting. Scutari as well. So plenty available. So the rules then. Here, you get some missions, Echoes of War missions. just there, and then they're giving you, there's a feature in these just to represent the theme of what's going on with the battles. They're giving you some weather fluctuations, warp, storms, shadows and things going on inside that table there. And there's your results, just roll up on the chart just to make things different. It's that, okay. So you've got Echoes of War, so some different missions here. So just take a look at these there. So Dawn of War deployment, this is in the early Ariad 6. Belisarius Cawl's conclave, greedily delve through the ruins, and then there's orcs present, and the big mech Gangrek descend upon them to savage some shiny loot. After many setbacks, Cawl was forced to draw the orcs to battle in a bid to defeat them once and for all. So a pitched battle, orcs versus Skitarii, or Admech. We've played some games like this already. Actually, just it wasn't to coincide with this. It was two armies that orcs already had, and then Skitarii had been working on before all this came along. So we've actually played some games. And orcs versus Skitarii is great fun to play. So after trying to set up, you get 3 objective markers anywhere within the deployment zone. That's the Admech army. No, so it's an orc full-on attack. 6 inches away from the edge, 12 inches away from each other. Deployment. The Abdex Mechanicus player sets up first, anywhere in the deployment zone, but they do so by placing a setup marker for each unit in their army. They intend to start the battle deployed in the battlefield. Each setup marker needs to be distinct, for example by having different numbers, so it can be corresponded to a specific unit. They must then write them down, which unit set up each marker represents. Keep this information secret. Right, okay, so you're putting the markers out, but you don't know what units are which. Once the Admech player has placed all their markers, the Orc player deploys all their forces anywhere in the deployment zone. Once this has been done, the Admech player then reveals which marker corresponds to which unit, setting them up. The first model in each unit must be placed exactly where the unit setup marker was placed. Okay. Interesting. The Orcs go first. Variable game length. Secure the objectives as usual. There were 3 points each. First blood to slay the Warlord. But slay the Warlord is worth D3 points instead of 1. And then Death by Moonlight in this mission, the night fighting special rules takes effect for the duration of the battle. Oh, cool. So all units in the battlefield have stealth. Then Jaws of the Trap. After deployment, the Admech player can choose a result in the mysterious objectives table. Apply each objective marker in the deployment zone instead of generating them randomly. All objective markers begin the game as having already been identified. In addition, all of the Admech player's units have shrouded for the first turn. And then looting time. At the end of any turn in which a unit belonging to the Orc player controls an objective marker becomes looted, and the mysterious objective result chosen ceases to be in effect for the remainder of the battle. In addition, an objective marker that has been looted is only worth 1 victory point. The Admech player is of the 3. Alright, so you've got to viciously cling on to those objectives if you're the Admech player. Cool. Sounds like a good fun mission, that one. So that's that. That's the early. So it's bringing Belisarius Cawl into the campaign, and it's a way off on another planet area 6. He's in search of an artifact. There's orcs there. So that's that early encounter. So the next one, the Sword of Defiance. That one was called the Scavenger War, or the Scavenger War. Next one's called the Sword of Defiance. For too long, I mean, I've got the stuff to play this game. We could do that one, Orcs Skitarii, and then play that. Be good. Then next one, the Sword of Defiance. For too long, the wreckage of the Dark Angel's vessel, the Sword of Defiance, proven to be a thorn in the side of the Chaos Assault upon Cadia Secundus, but as the invading forces mustered in strength to finally drive them from their improvised stronghold, the Sons of the Lion soon found themselves in a desperate fight for survival. So, one player is the Imperial player, and each of their units must have either the Dark Angels or Astra Militarum. They must include a company master, representing Master Korahael, to be their army's warlord. Their opponent is the Chaos player. All of their units must be Chaos Space Marines. They must include at least 1 unit of Khorne Berserkers in their army. The battlefield, it's interesting, you deploy halfway here for the Imperials. the Imperial player can place any number of fortifications anywhere within the deployment zone. They do not pay any points for these fortifications, and none start the game dilapidated. All fortifications deployed in this manner start the game claimed by the Imperial player. So this is a strong defence here, potentially, for the Imperial player. Remaining terrain. Imperial player deploys all their units anywhere within the deployment zone. Chaos player does not deploy any of their units, they arrive on turn 1. Chaos player goes first, they'll come on from reserve. The mission lasts for 8 turns. Whoa, this is a big one. At the end of the game, the player who scored the most victory points is the winner. The Imperial player receives 1 victory point for each enemy unit that has been completely destroyed. Units that are falling back at the end of the game count as destroyed, and independent characters, transports are all points. At the end of the game, the Chaos player receives 3 victory points for each of their units that is wholly within Imperial player's deployment zone. Right, it's just trying to claim that ground. For 1 victory, or 1 victory point for each of the units that is partially within Imperial player's deployment zone. Okay. So, Chaos has to attack. It's nice they've engineered it to represent the theme of what's going on. Empiric storms, night fighting, that's the storms that the chart you can roll up earlier on. First wave attack. In their first turn, the Chaos player can move any of their units, including flyers, onto the battlefield via their own table edge, or deep strike if they have deep strike. Right. Secondary wave. Each time unit with the Chaos player faction, and it's a walker, flyer, or infantry type, excluding super heavy walkers and models. With the independent character special is completely destroyed, remove from play and place it in reserves, and where it will be available to return to the battle at the start of the Chaos player's next turn. These units enter play from any point along the Chaos player's table edge. Nice. So there's no limit on points there. You could play that as big or as small as you want. I mean, you could play a 10,000 point game and the rules would be fine, or you've got a smaller collection, you can play it. So plenty of scope for that one. But I think it would be one that you want to play big as possible. Another good mission, that one. So this is what I like doing it on the channels, is letting the narrative then influence the games that you play. So I'm starting to do quite a few, even just the regular battle reports, just changes to the games. So it's not standard 40k battles, just rolled up from the rule book, but our own twists and changes, creating a storyline, and that storyline then influences the rules that you bring in to reflect that. And it's exactly what they're doing here. They've got a nice story running through, and then they're creating unique battles, and it inspires. It's inspiration. The story then inspires you to make up some really cool rules to reflect what's going on in the campaign. So it's a brilliant combination of using narrative and then combining that, making rules to fit in with that. It's brilliant. So the next one then is mission 3, Fall of the Kragan Gates. Sounds good. It's 1 Imperial player. They must have either Space Marines or Black Templars, or have Adepta Sororitas, Militarum Tempestus, or Astra Militarum. They must include a company command squad that includes Lord Castellan Creed, who must be their army's warlord and Colour Sergeant Cawl. The opponent is the Chaos player, and each of their units have Chaos Space Marines, Chaos Demons, or Astra Militarum faction, representing the regiments that have turned traitor earlier in the war. Cool. They must include, some of James's units will be in that. They must include the Demon Prince, representing Erkan Foss, to be their army's warlord, as well as the Hounds of Abaddon formation. Right, it's quite restrictive, this one, but I suppose it's got to fit in exactly with the storyline. The battlefield, there's the map. So Chaos, a tight deployment zone along here, and Imperial Guard or Imperial player deep halfway up the table in that area just there. The Imperial player can place any number of fortifications anywhere in deployment zone. They do not pay any extra points, and none start dilapidated. It's just the usual. Cool. After terrain has been set up, the Imperial player places 5 objective markers anywhere within the deployment zone. No objective can be placed within 6 of any battlefield edge, or 12 of objective. Imperial player deploys all the units first in their zone. Chaos player then deploys their units within their deployment zone. Chaos goes first. You can seize the initiative. The mission lasts for 10 turns. Whoa! What a grinder of a game. These are very strong missions here. At the end of the game, the player who scored the most victory points is the winner. If both players have the same number of victory points, it's a draw. Each objective marker is worth 3 points. First blood, slay the warlord. In this mission, the slay the warlord secondary objective is worth D3 plus 1. Alright, okay, so it's very important there, the army commander for either side. Usual night fighting reserves, Imperial Storms. And then Cadia stands. Whilst Lord Castellan Creed is on the battlefield, all Imperial players' units have stubborn and leadership 10. Good. Empowered by Khorne, before deployment the Chaos player can pick any 3 results on the boon table, with some exceptions, and then apply them to the Demon Prince representing Urkenfoss. And then full scale assault. Each time unit controlled by Chaos player, excluding super heavy vehicles and Demon Prince, is representing Urkenfoss, is completely destroyed, removed from play, back into reserves, where it'll be available in the next turn to come on anywhere along that edge. Yeah, nice. Now good, that'll keep the game going. What a grinder of a game that would be, along with this one. I think, and then what will happen is that it's bound to be that they're going to, as the story moves along, it's not all going to be Imperial players defending fortifications. I know they're just going to inject different things going on, counter-attacks going on, different factions sweeping in. So each book you're going to see, different themed missions for sure. I'm very sure that's how they're going to do it. Next one, then, mission 4 is the Emperor Protects. So again, Imperial player, a company command squad, which includes Creed and the Triumvirate of the Imperial Formation, Trajan the Infinite. All those 3, no points. The rest of the units must be Space Marines, Space Wolves, Dark Angels, Adeptus Auratus, Militarum Tempestus, Astra Militarum, Cult Mechanicus, Scutari. Saint Celestine must be the warlord. God, this is a big one. Nice photograph here. Just ranks and ranks fading off into the distance with a nice sweeping angle. Good photography here in this one. The opponent is Chaos. Must be Chaos Space Marines, Demons, or Traitor Guard. They must include the Bringers of Despair formation, Abaddon's the Warlords. This is the big one here. There's the map. So Chaos is 12 inches in, 18 inches for the Imperial Guard. Imperial player deploys first, setting up their units anywhere within the deployment zone. Celestine cannot be set up. She and her Gemini superior arrive later in the battle. In addition, Inquisitor Greyfax and any units of Militarum Tempestus or Space Marines who use the Ultra Range chapter tactics must be placed in Tesseract reserved. Okay. Up to half of their non-vehicle units of Astra Militarum faction can also be placed in the Tesseract reserve. Chaos player then sets up their units anywhere in their deployment zone. Chaos goes first. It's an 8-turn game. It's 1 victory point for each enemy unit has been completely destroyed. That's for both sides. Units that have fallen back at the end of the game count as destroyed. However, if Trajan the Infinite is slain, no victory points are awarded for his destruction, nor are any awarded for any unit still in the Tesseract reserve. Slay the Warlord is worth 5 victory points. Divine Intervention. At the start of the Imperial player's 3rd turn, Celestine arrives by deep strike, crashing through the cavern roof to enter the fray. Do not roll for scatter. Each unit within 6 of Celestine, excluding Celestine, suffers D6 strength for AP4 hits from falling rock. Treat Saint Celestine as the firing model for the purposes of allocating wounds and determining vehicle damage. In addition, all of the Imperial players' units are fearless and feel no pain till the start of the next turn. Cool. Saviour or Thief. The Imperial players' units treat Trajan the Infinite as a desperate ally, although he treats them as allies of convenience instead. In addition, at the start of any of their turns after the first, and provided that he is live on the battlefield, the Imperial player can choose to set up all the units they placed in Tesseract Reserve during the deployment. These units arrive by deep strike, but only roll a single dice for scatter. If they suffer a mishap, they are a misplaced. They result as a misplaced on the table. Warmaster cometh. Abaddon has Rampage. In addition, whilst he's alive, all Chaos players' units have Hatred. Armies of the Imperium. Special rule, and all the Chaos players' units within 12 have Preferred Enemy. Armies of the Imperium. Special rule. Nice. So a vicious fight, that one. And the arrival of Celestine. I mean, imagine you've got armies that you've had for ages. You know, you gather together your friends. They've got Chaos, you've got Imperium. You line it all up, and then one of you's got Celestine, painted it up. What a debut to bring that miniature in. You come crashing in on turn 3. Cool. Yeah, that's another thing that's cool about this series so far. Is a lot of it is armies that, you know, people already have. This is common armies here. Chaos. There's a lot of people with different. A lot of people you'll know, I'm sure, will have Chaos armies collected, and then Imperial armies as well. You can put all that together, do some really nice, refreshing scenarios, then maybe just paint up a couple of the miniatures, the new ones, and then you're able to play the missions exactly as they are in the book here. So it's good. It's good, and they're very. The miniatures are very collectible, very iconic ones that Games Workshop have released. It's not loads of units and stuff, it's just very iconic individual models that you may well worth be getting. They're beautifully done. I was talking to someone the other day, they said that miniatures coming out from Games Workshop at the moment, the sculpting is just really, really good. Okay, so we're on to data sheets then. Here we go. Belisarius Cawl. Out of all of these, it would be tempting to get him. It'd be fascinating to see the rules for this model. I mean, it's absolutely fascinating sculpt on him. It's beautifully done. Really nice. You know, to make a change, you've got the Scutari army, to make a change, you could put him in, drop a unit out, and then put him in. Shouldn't be a problem. So it's 200 points. So it's not ridiculous, but not cheap, sort of in between. So we'll see what he can do. So he has an Arc Scourge. Just look this up now. So imagine it's going to be a bit of haywire. So this is a melee weapon here. It is +1 strength. His strength is 5 to start off with, so that makes him strength 6, AP 4. So melee weapons, haywire. Right, so the hits are coming through at haywire. He's got 3 attacks, not bad. Machine Scourge, and then Mastercrafted, so getting a reroll. It's a nice weapon. Model equipped this weapon can reroll the result of haywire. Cool, so that dreaded 1, he gets to reroll those. Or if you're after 6s, if you're after penetrating hits, then you can reroll on any results that aren't 6. Not bad. Mastercrafted Power Axe. Okay, so again, that's a reroll for that. Nice. It's just the usual rules for Power Axe then. Mechadendrite Hive. Model equipped with a Mechadendrite Hive makes melee attacks. It makes an additional 2d6 attacks with its Mechadendrites and a single attack with its Data Spike, all at initiative 10. These attacks do not grant the model an additional piling move. So Data Spike's initiative 10 haywire attack at the usual strength. God, he's a bane to vehicles, even super heavies will kill him. The Mechadendrites strength 4 melee, so he's going to get 2d6 strength 4 attacks there as well. So he's not too bad against hordes, low armor, save low toughness type units as well. Next is the Scryer Skull. Start of each of your turns, a model of a Scryer Skull can choose to identify a single mysterious objective. Right, okay. Then he's got a Refractor Field, which is a 5+ Invuln. Not too bad. Then some special rules here. Canticles of the Archmagos. which is here. We'll cover that now. Below are 3 Canticles of the Archmagos that can only be used if Belisarius Cawl is on the battlefield. These work in exactly the same way as Canticles of Omnicia, except they also affect friendly vehicle units from armies of the Imperium within 12 of him, even if they do not have Canticles of Omnicia special rule. So, just read this bit here. But just to make sense of this, at the start of each of your turns you can choose one Canticle of the Omnicia from the list below. The effects of each Canticle last until the start of your next turn. Unless otherwise stated, each Canticle can only be used once during the game. Right, so use these up once. So that means you roll on that once and you choose one and that's it. You don't get to use all of them up, I think. The strength of each Canticle varies according to the number of units performing it. Start of your turn, add up the number of friendly units on the battlefield that have Canticles of Omnicia special rule and apply the appropriate level of effect. Do not include units that have fallen back in the total. Once a Canticle has been activated, it remains at that level of effect to the beginning of your next turn, even if the number of units has been reduced down. The following special rules, characteristic modifiers apply to all friendly units with Canticles of Omnicia. That's there, we'll come back to them in a second. It's down here then. So you say on a turn, right, I'm going to go to Utterance of Neutralization. You get one roll off on that, and then you get the result. That's it, you don't get to go back to it again. So the first one's Harmony of Metallurgy. 1 to 3 units within 12, get It Will Not Die. 4 to 7, It Will Not Die, make 2 It Will Not Die rolls. Affected units instead of only 1. And then 8 plus units nearby, you get 3 It Will Not Die rolls. Okay, so it's keeping vehicles and models alive. Next one, Utterance of Neutralization. +1 ballistic skill, 1 to 3 units, 4 to 7 is 2, 8 units is 3. And then the War Hymnal of Fortitude. Units, 1 to 3 units is 6 plus invuln, 4 to 7 is 5 plus, and then 8 plus is 4 plus invuln. Okay, all handy enough. Then he's got Canticles of Omnicia. Here, you get Incantation of the Iron Soul, it gives you Stubborn, or Stubborn and reroll Foul Morale, Fear and Pinning, and then 8 plus is Fearless. Chant of the Remorseless Fist, reroll 1s when making combat, reroll 1s and 2s, or just general rerolls. Shroud Psalm is Stealth or Shrouded, or Stealth and Shrouded. Benedict of Omniscience, reroll 1s in shooting, reroll 1s and 2s, or reroll, or just complete rerolls. Then Invocation of Machine Might, +1 strength, +2 strength, +3 strength. And the Litany of the Electromancer. Enemy units suffer a single strength 4 AP- hit for each model with the Canticles of the Omnicia special rule, and units that are locked in combat with resolved initiative step 10. Enemy units suffer 2 strength 4, and then, or here it's 3 strength 4. Okay. Cool, it's quite able to adapt to different situations in the battle, as depending on the circumstances you're in, from here or from here. He's got loads of options. So he's good. He has a good impact on your surrounding forces. So I'm running a battle manipult. Stick him in the heart of it, and he's going to give out a lot of benefits. Pretty good. So he also has Feel No Pain. It's an independent character and very bulky. Stat line there: weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 5, strength 5, toughness 6. It's nice and tough. 5 wounds, initiative 3, 3 attacks, leisure 10, and 2 plus save. God, he is good. 200 points is, I think, it's very good value here. So Artificer self-repair mechanisms. At the start of each of your turns, Belisarius Cawl recovers D3 wounds lost earlier in the battle. God. God, if you're going to kill him, you have to do it all in one go. He's tough. Very, very tough. Masterwork Bionics. Can reroll fouled, Feel No Pain rolls as well. He's very, very good. Not much in the way of shooting. Arcana Mechanicum. His strength is an AP1, assault D3, mastercrafted and melter, range 12. Okay. So he is tough. He is very, very tough. Not much in the way of shooting from him, but granting loads of benefits to nearby units, and then for combat, I think he's decent enough. A real bane to vehicles will work haywire, and then a main feature of him is just tough to kill. 2-up save, toughness 6, feel no pains, re-rolls, automatically recovering D3 wounds every turn. God, he is exceptionally good, and for 200 points, he's very good indeed. So, but I think it's balanced enough. It's not ridiculous. He's not going to come onto the table and just... See, I got the impression of Age of Sigmar, even before Age of Sigmar came along, it seemed like Warhammer was just releasing one big monster after another, this amazing monster you had to buy in order to win. And it just seemed like an arms race going on, and just, one new miniature after another. This one, he's good, but he's not going to wreck the gaming system. It's just his stat line's decent enough, nicely themed, but it's not like now you have to buy him in order to win games of 40k, so I think they've got it right. But he is very, very good for what you're paying in points. And a beautiful miniature, fantastic model as well. So I would go for him to make a change, even if you're not interested in the campaign. If you're into Admech and Skitarii, it's a nice model. Stats are excellent, good fun, and a real challenge, I think, for opponent to try and get rid of him. Cool. Right, Celestine, this is going to be interesting. Wonder how similar the rules are to what she was previously. She's 200 points here. So, Celestine, the Living Saint. The rules stretch from here and then onto this page as well. There's a lot of rules here. So, Saint Celestine, I think for 200 points, you get these two Gemini superiors as well, I think. Just looking. Yeah. So, it's all of that. So, Saint Celestine, weapon skill 7, ballistic skill 7, strength and toughness 3, 5 wounds for her. God. Initiative 7, 5 attacks, leadership 10, 2-up save. And then the Gemini superior, weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 4, strength and toughness 3, 2 wounds each. Wow. Initiative 4, 2 attacks each, leadership 10, 3-up save. They're all jump infantry. And bolt pistol, power sword. Oh, power swords are standard. Nice. That's for the superiors. Frag grenades and crack grenades as well. Adamantium Will. Eternal Warrior, that's for Saint Celestine. Right, so she can't be instant death now. Not sure if she was always that, but she's got it here. Fearless, Hit and Run. Independent character for Celestine. And Saintly Blessings, which is just up here. We'll cover that now. Saint Celestine can bestow a saintly blessing at the start of each of your turns. A blessing affects all non-vehicle units in the armies of the Imperium that have the battlefield role associated with that blessing, and are within 12 of her. Each saintly blessing can only be activated once, so you choose each of these. Independent characters that have joined units that are affected by a saintly blessing are also affected, as long as they remain with the unit. So these are the ones that you can get. Heroic Zeal affects HQs only. They gain Zealot until the start of your next turn. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure the rules, same as Death Company Chaplain, if one model has Zealot, it affects all the models in the unit, so it doesn't matter if it's just the HQ that gets it. If they're buried in a unit, they're going to bless the whole unit with that. Fanatical Fortitude affects troops. All models in the unit gain Feel No Pain 6+. Start of your next turn. Models that already have Feel No Pain, add 1. Okay. Religious Fanaticism affects elites only. All models in the unit gain counterattack if you use charge to start of your turn. Devout Determination affects fast attack. All models in the unit gain the Crusader and Fleet. Pious Grit affects super heavies. All models in the unit have Relentless. And then Indomitable Faith affects the Warlord Affects Lord of War units only. Unit against it will not die for the remainder of the battle. Cool. Cool. Okay. There's loads of new rules here, I think. That's loads. Okay. So that's that. If you keep this page open during the game, you wouldn't want to miss handing those out. So Divine Guardians, the Gemini Superior both have 4+ inbuns. In addition, or at least one Gemini Superior is still alive. Resolve any wounds suffered by Celestine against the Gemini Superior closest to her instead. Saint Celestine is permitted to join other units, in which case both Celestine and the Superior join the unit. If Celestine then leaves the unit, her Gemini Superior also leave, forming a separate unit with her. So they follow her wherever she goes. They are allowed to join other units, and they're the ones to absorb Celestine's hit, so she's well protected. Emperor's Vengeance. Once per battle, Saint Celestine can make a shooting attack. It's an orbital barrage. Unlimited range, strength 8, AP 3, barrage, large blast. Assault 1. If an arrow is rolled on the scatter dice from firing weapon, as a special rule, the shot always scatters the full 2d6, regardless of Celestine's ballistic skill. Okay. There's an extra bonus in there. You get loads of bonuses here. So the points values, I think, are very reasonable. Healing Tears. At the start of each of your turns, set up a single slain Gemini Superior anywhere within 2 of Celestine, or as close to her as possible. So what happens then? Healing Tears. I take it that means one of them comes back to life. At the start of each of your turns, set up a single slain Gemini Superior anywhere within 2 of Celestine. So I think it just means one that's died, she just brings it back. I think. It doesn't really explain that, but... Okay, next up, Martyrdom. If a model with a Martyrdom special rule is your Warlord, and that model is removed as a casualty during the battle, all friendly units wholly comprised of models with the Act of Faith special rule automatically passes all leadership tests at the end of your next turn. Then next one is Miraculous Intervention. The first time Saint Celestine is removed as a casualty, she must take a leadership test. That's leadership 10. If this test is failed, she is slain as normal. If successful, leave a suitable counter on the spot where Celestine lost her last wound. Start of your next turn, place Saint Celestine back on the battlefield with all her wounds restored within 1 inch of the counter. Saint Celestine can act normally in a turn in which she resurrects, and can even use her Healing Tears special rule to restore one of her Gemini Superior. Okay, so they've explained that there. The first time she's removed as a casualty. The first time. Okay, so I don't think you can keep doing it. But again, it's just very, very tough to get rid of these. Belisarius here, very tough to kill. And I think Celestine, very tough to kill again. Very, very tough to kill. 5 wounds now, 2 up save. If Celestine is your Warlord, her Master of Special would only take effect, and she will only award victory points for objectives such as Slay the Warlord. If she fails a leadership test, or if she had been removed as a casualty for a second time. However, if Saint Celestine has been slain, and the game ends before she can return to the battlefield, she counts as destroyed. Miraculous Intervention has no effect if Saint Celestine is removed as a casualty a second time. Right, so there's one chance to do it, but you're bound to pass leadership 10, so pretty much every time she's going to come back again. And then she can keep bringing back her bodyguard as well, which is, there's a lot of energy you're going to spend trying to get rid of that. I mean, I've struggled at times trying to take Celestine on, playing against James Otero from Siege Studios, and she's been hard to get rid of them, but with all these rules, and now with a bodyguard, it's even harder to get rid of. So very, very, if you're a Sisters of Battle player, it's a good time to get Celestine. It's an excellent 200 points, excellent value, very, very good, and the models just would make a beautiful addition to any Sisters of Battle army. So good one. Beacon of Faith All models within 12 of her use her leadership when taking acts of faith and war hymns. Tests. Ecclesiarchy Relics. Right, the Ardent Blade. She has a template, strength 5, AP 4. And then she has, in combat, it's +2 strength, AP 3. So she's strength 5 in combat. It's Armour Bane. Not that she's going to do too much damage with that. Yeah, maybe rear armour. Pretty good. And then Master Crafted. She's better just killing Chaos Space Marines, I think. Now, I'm just looking around here. Right, so the Gemini have 4+ Invuln saves. But Celestine doesn't. She's got Eternal Warrior, but no Invuln. So she needs to keep those bodyguard alive, or it could be trouble. Yeah, so a little bit of a weakness there without an Invuln save. She gets caught out at the wrong time. Then, oh no, I'll take that all back. Celestine has a 2 armor save and 4+ Invuln, so that's that covered. So no, all round she is excellent. Brilliant value. I mean, these 2 Gemini here are excellent. And you don't pay extra for them. You could easily pay 30 points each for those. Coming with a power sword, brilliant armor save, Invuln save. They can be resurrected, worth 25-30 points easily, but they're included in the price of that points wise. So exceptionally good value for points there as well. I think it'll be exciting when they introduce some of the, I presume they're going to do it, some of the new Chaos characters with rules and see some of the fascinating sculpt work that they do for them. I think it's exciting. I think the story moving along and the new miniatures coming out is, and everyone, most factions I think can get involved. So it's this has been well put together. They've done well here. So I think they knew change needed to come along, which is fair enough. And Games Workshop need to do that. They need to keep moving. Imagine if they didn't release any new stuff, it would fold up. So they have to move along. But doing so, you want to get the fans behind you as you move along, not being shocked after some massive change. So Inquisitor Greyfax, 150 points, small miniature, beautifully sculpted, really nicely done. 150 points for her. On the face of it, doesn't seem to be as much value as the others, but we'll see. Mastercrafted Condemned or Bolt Gun starts off with. Weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength numbers 3, 3 wounds, initiative 4, 3 attacks, leadership 10, 3 up save. Again, not the most amazing stat line, so we'll see what we got. This bolt gun here, check it out. Range 24, strength 5, no AP. Assault 1, size shock, 1 use only. So it follows all the rules for combi weapon. Its primary is a bolt gun as usual, and then the secondary is a stake crossbow. That's it, it's 1 use only shot. If unit contains at least 1 Psyker, i.e. a model with a Psyker, Brotherhood of Psykers, Psychic Pilot Special is hit by a weapon with Psy Shock. 1 randomly determined Psyker model when that unit suffers perils of the warp, in addition to any other damage. Not incredibly good. It's okay. Nice thing, but... Mastercrafted Power Sword, but she's only at strength 3. Dragon Crack Grenades, Psych Out Grenades, and then Cyculum. Look here. The bearer, and the unit count as being ballistic skill 10. If shooting at unit contain 1 or more models with the Psyker, Psychic Pilot, Brotherhood of Psykers, this rule has no effect if the bearer and the unit is firing snapshots. Okay, so she then counts as ballistic skill 10 to deliver that crossbow shot. Master of Interrogation. Enemy infiltrators cannot be set up anywhere within 24. She's got preferred enemy psychers. She's a psyker herself, master level 2. Okay, that's good value. Stubborn. Indomitable Will. We're making a Deny the Witch test. Inquisitor Greyfax always counts as having a higher master level than the psyker, manifesting the power. Okay, she's pretty good at denying powers coming through. Quite an asset if you're in those big campaign games. Stick in your heart of the army to protect your HQs and so on. Inquisitor Greyfax also knows the Aura of Oppression psychic power, which is here. She may generate 2 more powers from telepathy. So warp charge 1 or 3. It's a malediction that targets a single non-vehicle enemy unit within 12. The target unit must immediately take a pinning test. If it's passed, whilst this power is in effect, the target cannot run, turbo boost, perform sweeping advances, or fire overwatch. Alternatively, you can attempt to manifest this power at warp charge 3. Decide before you roll. If you do so, this power targets all enemy non-vehicle units within 12 of the caster, so it could cause trouble. So yeah, not bad value. Still, stats-wise, rules-wise and so on, I think these two are better. But again, very, very collectible. Miniature, that one. Can't really fault what Games Workshop have done here. Pretty good. So then, a Triumvirate of the Imperium formation, one of each of the new characters. Inspiring presence, friendly units from armies of the Imperium that are within 12 of 2 or more models from this formation have stubborn. Automatically pass pinning. Friendly units from the armies of the Imperium within 12 of all 3 have fearless. Okay. Note that Gemini Superior that accompany St. Celestine do not count for the purposes of this rule. And the exemplars of the Imperium, if you choose a model from this formation to be your warlord, then all models from this formation can use their warlord traits. Okay, so you keep your warlord traits there. Nice. So I mean, you can take all 3. They don't have to form as a group. They can be split off into their different units and so on. But here it's sort of giving you an incentive to sort of keep them nearby each other as well. Okay. And then what they've done is they've given each character their own formation they can go in with their parent armies. So maybe if you just got one of them and you've got Admech Scutari, then there's going to be a bonus if you go to stick him in with your force. There's some benefits there for each of these. Okay. So Conclave Inquisitorius here. You've got to have Belisarius Cawl, obviously. 1 to 2 battle maniples, which I can do. I've got a battle maniple, so I can do that. 1 Holy Requisitioner, that's from the Cult Mechanicus book. You have to have one. Okay. And then 1 Cohort Cybernetica, 0 to 1, so you don't have to have that. 0 to 1 Nominus Conclave, and then 1 to 2 Imperial Knights of any type, or Baronial Court. Cool, I could do that, so that's possibly doable, just about. I mean, points would be a stretch. So yeah, it would be difficult, that one. They all get Canticles Omnicia. So that's now going to affect your knights. Yeah, okay. Armour of the Archmagus. During army selection, each character from a Conclave Inquisitorius may upgrade one of their weapons, including one purchased as an upgrade, but not including a relic or equivalent to have mastercrafted. Synchronized data network. If the Conclave contains the maximum number of units, then all units in the formation gain doctrinal imperatives. Okay, so looks nice. Looks nice. See what I mean about him being buried in the middle of a Admech army. Nice feature. Very, very nice. Next one then is Wrathful Crusade. You've got to take Celestine and Inquisitor Greyfax together. You have to have 1 captain of Codex Chaos Space Marines, 0 to 1 Stern Guard units, 2 to 4 Crusader squads, 1 to 4 Assault squads, and 1 Militarum Tempestus platoon. Quite a nice combination. All units from Chaos Space Marines must be drawn from Black Templar's chapter. They all get Crusader. Collective Fanaticism. If the Wrathful Crusade contains the maximum number of units, then all units gain Zealot. Wow. Unbridled Fury. All units in the Wrathful Crusade can reroll failed charge rolls. In addition, if you roll a 10 or more, then you get Furious Charge. Okay. Not the most amazing of bonuses, but some pretty good ones in there. Okay. So there's some rules here for combined Imperium forces. There. And then there's detachments here as well, Grand Convocation, army lists. So you just build up army lists along the theme to match in with the campaign. Yeah, so what's going on here is you're forming an army list. These are your, so you've got HQ troops, Lords of War, heavy support, and then it lists the ones that you can take, and then there's your restrictions there, so 2 to 4 HQ to make up this Grand Convocation detachment, and then there's your bonuses here, and then they've done one here for Castellans as the Imperium detachment as well. So again, just building up an army to help you put together a force that has the units that are in the actual storyline. So that's just to give you some extra bonuses there. That's your lists there for your different unit types and what actual units you can take. That's the weapons, which you've covered, and the stats. Okay, so there's some relics here. I'll have a look at these. Okay, I'll take a look at these ones. Okay, so Arcana Mechanicum. Characters that can normally take a relic or equivalent have been selected as part of a Conclave Acquisitorius formation, which is one of these. Okay, you then get access to some relics. Okay, Grand Convocation Detachment, which we've just looked at here. Right, okay, so if you're looking to form an army around this theme, or in an army that includes Belisarius Cawl, okay, or you just have the miniature. Oh, okay, so that's not too bad. You only need the miniature then. So it opens it out. You don't have to buy it. They're not, again, they're not saying you've got to buy loads and loads of models. You can just have Belisarius Cawl and then you get access to this. You can select one of the following. There's only one. You have to choose one of these. You can't take loads. Only one of each of the following relics can be chosen per army. Okay, so a new Minister's Casket of Electromancy, 30 points. Be interesting to see what some of these do. Once per game, the bearer can choose to unleash the casket instead of using another ranged weapon. This attack automatically targets and hits all enemy units, including flyers and flying monstrous creatures within range of the attack, regardless of line of sight. Range 2d6, Strength 3, Assault 1, Haywire, 1 use only. I wouldn't really rate that, I don't think. Not really, I can't see that being too powerful. Just the range is going to, average is going to be 7 inches. And you hit Haywire, you cause a few hull points here and there, but not that amazing. Next one, Quantum Annihilator. Replaces one of the ranged weapons. It's range 18, 2d6 strength, AP2, assault D3, and then Quantum Paradox. Each time the bearer fires this weapon, roll 2d6 to determine the strength after the target has been chosen. If the roll is 10, any successful hits will automatically wound non-vehicle units and gain instant death, and will automatically inflict a penetrating hit against vehicle targets. Okay, very random. The average strength is going to be 7. It could go as bad as 2, or it could go as high as 12. Yes, you could hit something at strength 12. It is possible. Quite random, that one. Quite a random weapon. Sacrifactum Auto Repulsor, 15 points. Any unit attempting to charge the bearer in their unit must subtract 2 from the charge range to a minimum of 0. This effect is cumulative of any other modifiers to charge range that may be applicable. Alright, may protect you a bit. Something that's easily forgotten the time just as you need it. Someone charges you and you forget about that and then you've wasted the you've wasted the points. Memento Mortis Specs, 30 points. At the start of each of your turns, choose one of the following special rules to apply to the bearer and their unit, or their weapons as appropriate. To the start of your next turn, you can get Cognis, which is BS2 when fighting Skyfire. I think Monster Hunter. Oh, Skyfire or Tank Hunter. Yeah, sorry, no, Cognis is +1 ballistic skill for snapshots. So if you're snap shooting Overwatch, you'll be on BS2. Or in snap firing Skyfire, trying to fire up into flying targets, you get +1. But you can choose to have Skyfire anyway. Each of your turns choose one special rules to apply to the bearer and their unit. Okay, no, that's handy. 30 points, I would see that more helpful than these. It's probably the best one so far. That's cool. Cognis weapons. When a model makes snapshots, including Overwatch weapon, as this counts its ballistic skills being 2 instead of 1. Okay. If a flaming weapon with the special rule fires Overwatch, inflicts 3 hits rather than D3. Yeah, okay, that's Cognis. Omniscience Grace is 10 points. Gives you a 6+ invuln. If the bearer already has an invuln, saves improved by 1 to a maximum of 3+. Yeah, 10 points. That's good value. That's good value, that. That's a good one to give to Belisarius Cawl. That's 10 points, that's not bad. And high value on a model like Belisarius, because the value that he's worth, you know, he's worth 200 points, he's got loads of wounds, so that is helpful. St. Courier's Auto Purger, 25 points. Models charging the bearer and the unit do not gain bonus attacks for charging. In addition, all models in any units are locked in combat with the bearer and their unit must pass a toughness test. Initiative step 10. The unit suffers 1 wound for each toughness test that it failed. Saves can be taken as normal against wounds caused in this manner. Again, easily forgotten that one. Not so sure about that. The best ones, I think, is Omniscience Grace, 10 points, nice and cheap, but a good bonus. And then the Memento multi-specs I would go for as well. Okay, next one is Ecclesiarchy Relics. So I take it this is going to be for Celestine. So characters that can normally take a relic or equivalent and have been selected as part of a Wrathful Crusade formation, a Celestines of the Imperium detachment, or Castellans of the Imperium detachment, or are in any army that includes Celestine. So anyone can select one of the following Ecclesiarchy relics. Only one of each of the following can be chosen. Cool. A Skull of Petronella the Pious, 30 points. The bearer and all models in the unit they join have 6+ invuln. Bother with that one. The Blade of the Worthy, 30 points. Replaces a melee weapon. Strength of the user. Or +2. Okay, so it's going to explain it here. If the bearer is locked in combat at the start of the fight subphase, they must take a leadership test. If the test is failed, they use the first profile for strength and AP. If the test is passed, then they use the second profile. Again, this looks like a good one to give to Celestine. Characters. Yeah, now I'm just wondering here, just thinking, characters that could normally take a relic. So it means in your codex entry you may take relics. Problem for these, for example, Celestine doesn't say that she may take relics from such and such. So I think Celestine, Belisarius Cawl, they cannot take these relics. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think they're allowed. I think it throws it open to other characters in the detachment or in an army that includes one of these unique characters. So you need to give these to other characters. I don't think you can give them to the new models, Belisarius Cawl, Celestine, and so on. I think that's how it works. It's that they normally can take relics. I could be wrong. Be a shame because some of these fit perfectly with these unique characters. Okay, so if you pass the test, you'll get +2 strength and AP2. If not, then it's just normal strength and then AP3. I think it'd be that has more value the higher your leadership. Leadership's 9, 10, then you're more likely going to be using it, not failing the test. The Castigator is 15 points. Range 12, Strength 4, AP 2, Pistol, Unstoppable Vengeance. Invuln saves cannot be taken against wounds caused by Castigator. That's different. Nasty. Okay. Next one is the Font of Fury. 10 points. Once per game, the bearer can choose to throw the Font of Fury instead of another ranged weapon. Joking. 8 inches, Strength 3, Assault 1, Bane of Evil, Large Blast, 1 use only, Poison. The Point of Fury has Poison 2+ instead of 4+, against enemy units of Chaos Demons, Chaos Space Marines or Khorne Demonkin. Ugh, weird. Strange one. 10 points. It's pretty, if you get a good hit, it's not too bad. Okay, Shroud of the Antimatter, 35 points. The bearer of the Shroud of the Antimatter has Eternal Warrior. And that is it, 35 points for that, that's expensive. Death's Vows Holy Circle, 35 points. Gives them a 4+ Invuln. Furthermore, enemy units cannot arrive by Deep Strike anywhere within 12. If an enemy unit arriving by Deep Strike scatters within 12, they automatically suffer a Deep Strike mishap. Okay. Pretty expensive again. Now, rule that's easily forgotten. Anyone, Deep Strikers arriving within 12, that's just easily forgotten during a game. So, out of all of those, the Font of Fury might be quite fun. Blade of the Worthy, if you're higher leadership, pretty good. And the Castigator's unique, different, that one. Cool. Alright, then that's your tactical objectives they've added in there as well. So that's the review then for part 1 of the Fall of Cadia Gathering Storm. So loads of story in this. So if you're going to get the book, immerse yourself there in the whole story. That's mostly what it is, and it gives you the rules and stats for those new characters that we've seen. I think they're very, very nicely done indeed. Really, really nice sculpt work on them. Very iconic, very collectible. The rules for them are all pretty cool. Belisarius Cawl is really good. Saint Celestine, really good as well. So it's that. The missions look fun to do, and looks like a lot of armies can join together and you can do those, and I think it's nicely done. So it's just going to be fascinating. I don't know how many parts there are to come. Maybe it's a 3-part series. It could be more. I'd imagine it's 3 parts, but I could easily be wrong on that. So leave your comments and feedback. What you think about the miniatures. What do you think is going to happen in this storyline? What's rumoured to happen? What you think should happen? What you think shouldn't happen? Then leave that in discussion below and see what other people are leaving, what feedback they're leaving as well. But that's the review. Got mine from gamingfigures.com. They do Games Workshop discounted rate, and there's free postage available in the UK if your order comes to over £40. It's not just 40k that they sell, it's all different gaming systems available from them, and all your modelling supplies and so on you can pick up from that online store. So that's gamingfigures.com. But that's the review for Gathering Storm, the Fall of Cadia. It's just a case of see what happens as the story moves along. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.